Hey everybody, this is Talkative Carl back for another short comic book review. I wanted to do another Batman story, but I figure I wanted something short, like an Elseworld story. It's something that I don't think hardly anybody really talked about yet. And I came across this as I think like I looked this up and it's like it kind of intrigued me because I was trying to look up was there any good stories with like the Scarecrow in it, and it's like this came up as I was like going through something last year, and it's like oh, the Batman of Arkham, like what's this all about? So I poured over it last year and I reread it again this year and decided, oh yeah, I can just do something at least quick with this. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty decent. And it's like, uh, I don't hate the artwork. It's like, it's pretty decent artwork, especially given the fact that it's almost like the same way as like Gotham by Gaslight. It's like a time displaced kind of period. This is set in like the 1900s. And they made a point to mention it's the 1900s. And this is like very first, Batman's first costume kind of design, and it's like, even with like that crazy long ears that come out to the sides, and it's like, you know, it's not too bad. Uh, yeah, this Batman story, uh, Gotham by uh, the Batman of Arkham, written by Alan Grant. And yes, I know, it's like I'm pretty sure you heard all the jokes. Alan Grant, from Jurassic Park. But I think the movie Alan Grant spells Alan with two L's. And artist by Al Canita, not Al Can Alcatina, Alcantina, and the it opens with uh, a heist made by Two Face. He's already an established Two Face and his goons, and like you see like Batman like perched on a rooftop on the far end of this version of Gotham City, and as he's planning, not planning but just going through with a heist, he's in a threatening the bank teller, and he's like flipping a coin, and then all of a sudden like you see like just Batman just burst in and just ready to kick some ass, and which he does, and all in all, it's like cool as Two Face is. He in no iteration he has any kind of superpowers, so I mean he can brawl, sure, but with if anybody with any level of fighting skill can easily uh take down Two Face, fairly easily. So Batman is really no contest for him. So in this iteration, I think it's kind of like well, it's hard to tell because I think arguably like in the Batman year one, I think his year two would be with like the Long Halloween, arguably, or at least maybe the third year. Uh, and Two Face, and that's like a solid origin story for Two Face as well. So this could arguably be year two or three into this version of Batman's career, because like Two Face is like an established person here. So he single handedly. I was want to mention about like the borders. I love because I don't think I see all that often the unique way of the borders are lined up. I don't know if there's like any kind of significance or it's supposed to be shaped in a particular way. Some are, because some panels show like almost like the top of Batman's head, like the tiny bat ears kind of thing. It almost look like that sometimes, but other times it's just like cool designs of panels. Uh, and I'm really digging that. I don't often see something like this. and he beats Two-Face and brings him to uh, Arkham Asylum, which he is the head of. In this version, uh, 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 Bruce Wayne is a psychiatrist running Arkham Asylum, and uh, in a way, he kind of uses this to track down certain villains that, or at least if he hears word or like uses his knowledge to, because you see like Poison Ivy's in here as one of the inmates, and he uses her in order to like not only try to help her but also facilitate certain information on any kind of purpose that might be out there that he needs to bring in, like the Joker, which he's in here too. And like you see like a moment where he's treating Killer Croc, Waylon Jones, and you see like a backstory of this version of Killer Croc, who's because of his physical deformity, he's being like picked on and beaten up by neighborhood kids, and like eventually it lands as he grew up and he became like more of a a villainous role because of this whole ordeal with his skin condition and how people treated him because of his skin condition. He became a bad guy. He got stopped by Batman. Now he's an inmate of Arkham, and like you can see that Bruce has really gotten somewhat through to him. It's where like he uh, while others such as Gordon and Professor Crane is not an established Scarecrow yet, but I like the design where it's like every time you see Professor Crane in this, his shadow views his Scarecrow costume, and it's like a looming turn of events that you see down the line for this guy, and it's like Gordon and Crane views like Croc as like just a monster, and Bruce is like, he's not a monster. The only reason he's like this because we treat him like that because of how he of his appearance, which he had no control over, as a birth defect, and you gotta he want him to be treated like a man. You gotta treat him like a man, and and you see like Bruce just like talking with him. You talking with like he's ignoring the outer exterior and speaking with the man inside, and like because of that he's behaving more of like a rational person. And it's like lo and behold, like if Bruce actually did this in the main continuity, a lot of Batman's rogues gallery would probably be treated, will finally get the treatment that they need and in a way like become good citizens again. Because really, I want to say not all, but because like at least either some of the doctors that treating them are like evil, like Hugo Strange as well, or they misdiagnosed, or they're killed off too soon, or it's like just any random thing where you don't have like, because trust and believe, if Bruce Wayne or any of the other like Bat Family was running things, I bet you like they won't be running amok, like because like if you got like people from like the Outsiders or the Bat Family or Batman Incorporated running things, I'm pretty sure like they won't get like any kind of like body trying to corrupt them, like like you don't get like Victor Zsasz threatening Batgirl with anything. It's like, I will beat the shit out of you. You try to come, threaten me to come after anyone, loved ones, even whatever. Like, nah, I ain't having that. No, we'll beat the shit out of you. You ain't corrupting any one of us. It's like it'll be so more effective because they won't. None of them will play that shit. It's like there's no way to corrupt anybody. There's nobody who's trying to like get any of them to like, it's like there's no bad doctors abusing their power or anything like that. It's just like all about treatment, and they, Bat family is handling, things their way to make sure things go smoothly, and there's no corruption going on behind the scenes, it'll be so more effective. But whatever. But it's like, but I this is my take on it. But now you see like Gordon talking about like this mysterious Batman and everything like that. And it's like, of course, Bruce is like, oh, he's just a fanciful specter. It's like, people make up the Batman. It's like he's like one of those like Penny Dreadful novels. It's like ghost stories or whatever. But then he goes to his private quarters, go to Alfred, and like he opens up a hidden compartment where his costume is, and he's going out into the night. Well, not yet. Gordon is arriving because he's bringing in another victim of the Joker who got hit with laughing gas, and Bruce goes to Poison Ivy because he got wind that she was the last person that had any kind of interaction with this guy and sane enough to be able to speak with. Now he's supposed to be treating her, but like he's just trying to, pump her full of information, and she carrying on about how like man's world to try to control me. And it's like, because it's 1900s, women are really not been treated, obviously not that well or as equals. And she made a point of that. And it's like, I'm not Pamela Isley anymore. I am Poison Ivy. And you see her like in her like, green like leaves as a dress. And because she's been put in this kind of like Victorian outfit, which she, tosses aside because like, she doesn't like that. She wants to be free. So she tosses it aside, and she's, the red hair flowing and everything like that. She is Poison Ivy. And, of course, Dr. Crane views this like, women's rights. Like, she's utterly insane. And like Bruce is like, there's some merit to what she's saying. So don't discount that. Even though she does need treatment, what she said holds some weight. So, and she brings up, the fact that, like Joker tried to make moves on her, but she wasn't having that. And he often talked about like driving the city to madness. And so like, then you see like Bruce, start to treat the ventriloquist. And you see this awesome one where he's like, he not as the puppet of Scarface trying to talk with him, he just smacks the head right off and he starts talking straight to the ventriloquist. Like, I'm talking to you. I'm not talking to this puppet. I'm not acknowledging this puppet the way you're trying to force everybody to acknowledge him. He's not running things. You are. And then, of course, he starts like treating Harvey Dent, and it's like he taking a note that it's like it's going to be a long, arduous task trying to treat this guy again, because how severe his like psychosis has split literally into two. So then because his like shift essentially was over, he is going out in the costume to try to hunt down Joker, which he finds who's trying to do the whole poison the reservoir kind of situations. It's always like the Joker's first like his iconic first act of villainism, or first evil act is poison like the Gotham's reservoir. And this one, he kind of does the exact same thing. And Batman is trying to stop him, but he ends up getting gas. It's like, 'cause this is his first interaction with the Joker in this interpretation. So he getting doused with the gas and starting, laughing hysterically, of course. So with he's still holding on to his cognizance in some way before it gets worse, and trying to get away before Joker, like, because Joker tosses a grenade at him into the like a chimney chute or something, and then before it blows up the building he's on, he goes back to his secret tunnel and they head back to his hideout with Alfred just looking in like disbelief that his Bruce, his friend, is like laughing uncontrollably and uncontrollably, and it's like the only thing he seemed like he can do is like send him to his own facility as an inmate. And he's laughing, and it's like I like this. Like, I wish I could have like an image I can put on as like a so you'll see what I'm talking about. But it's like a moment where he's like laughing like he's out of his gourd with like he's like, what kind of straitjacket is this? Like, he's like straitjacketed all to hell, and like he's laughing like he's out of his mind. But let's see if you can see. It's like as good as I can get it. It's like laughing like out of his mind, and it's like you don't. I mean, of course, Alfred's like, oh, the Joker snuck up on him and like unsuspectingly while he's taking a night walk out at night, and he got hit, so that's why he's like this. But it's like you do not want anybody like put him into this facility. You could just like put him in some place where you can keep watch on him yourself until you figure out something. But I figure like, oh, like, they have the Arkham Asylum has the resources that I don't, kind of situation, maybe. Well, of course, Crane utilizes this opportunity to like pretty much he wants to take over Arkham Asylum because he want to utilize fear as a base of somehow treating the inmates. I don't know how you treat inmates with fear, but he just want to run Arkham the way he sees fit because he doesn't view Bruce's methods as like he views it as like coddling the inmates, and it's like he doesn't see Bruce's way of actually getting things done. So it completely takes over, and all the inmates there, like Croc, you see Mad Hatter, Two-Face, a bunch of other randos that I don't recognize. And he's pretty much like trying to take over and just like straight up abuse of power. Then you see like in like in a fit of like insanity, you see like a glimpse of what of Bruce's past, because he had like he remembers about laughing clowns. I don't know if it's like a phobia, but it's just like something that brought him back to how his parents died. Um, um, I think there's like a little boy that's like a ward of some sort in this facility, like assisting like the doctors, and more specifically Bruce. I think that's supposed to be like Dick Grayson. Uh, and you see like in the past where like Bruce reminiscing that even earlier than the 1900s when he was a little boy, you go to this carnival and like this person was just like an old timey sailor taking out his like sword and starting attacking people, and Thomas Wayne at the time is trying to de-escalate the situation. He gets him and his wife gets slashed by this psycho, which not only of course leads him down the path of becoming Batman, but also him want to take over Arkham Asylum to treat the mentally disturbed, which is not too dissimilar to how like the facility is named after Amadeus Arkham, who had like somewhat of a similar situation, whereas like his like I don't think I'm pretty sure like I did like a spoiler review for like Arkham Asylum of A Serious House on Serious Earth, where you get like an origin story to Amadeus Arkham, whose mother was mentally disturbed, and he became like grew up to become like a world renowned psychiatrist treating the mentally insane. And and all the while, like nobody's taking notice about like a crazed sailor's. I guess he thought it was part of the act, but at the time, but everybody was just laughing, and there's like a lot of clowns were there, was like laughing around him as like his parents was taken from him, and nobody was immediately acting on it. So that's what he's reminiscing. Croc ends up breaking into Bruce's cell, and it was him, because like, it's kind of like a nice roundabout way. It's like because and so it shows like how effective Bruce's methods were, because Bruce treated him like a man and not a monster. And so this man is doing everything he can to reach Bruce, get him, and helping his willpower to like overcome this gas before it takes away his sanity, which in a way kind of works. So he somehow overcomes it, and I guess thanks to Croc, he ended up breaking out of cell and then going after Joker. And of course, like the this time he's more prepared. He got a gas mask on, so he won't be gassed again. He's trying to like stop the Joker going on this dirigible to blanket the city in laughing gas. And of course, like Batman stops him, beat him up, and then a fight. When the fight ensues, Batman, trying to stop the balloon from taking off, throws like this it's like a little mini fight that like carried on. He throws some embers with some cool ass accuracy at the balloon, which catches fire, and like all the ammo and what have you that was like sitting inside catches fire, lit up next to Joker. And like at first Batman's like, okay, let him burn, and then you realize that because the opening theme to this is to this comic was cool opening, is something that's been discussed in like in certain movies and TV shows. It's like, why do men kill? And it's like the open narration mentions how like if you give a man a knife and tell him to slit his the next guy's throat, he won't do it. He cannot do it because of humans. And it's true, humans on average are biologically hardwired to be repelled by taking another person's life, unless you are actually like, if you're like in the military or something like that, you're actually like trained to numb that side of you in a way, so you can be able to fight effectively on the battlefield. It mentions that in this Elseworld story. And it's like Batman normally he's like, because his parents died the way they did normally by a gunshot, he refuses to use guns, but he also refused to take a life because he in a way it's like, because his father was a doctor, he took a Hippocratic oath of not making sure like to always save a person's life as best as he possibly can. In a way, he's still doing that, so all life is precious no matter what. And it's just like in Batman Year One, it's like when some corrupt cops tried to like haul him in and cause like a car wreck, he refused to leave those cops in the car to get blown up because like in his narrations, like they may be scum, but even scum have families. So he did everything he could and he pulled those dudes out of that car. So like in normal Batman iterations, Batman refuses to take a life or leave anyone to their doom, essentially, even the Joker. So he saves the Joker from burning alive and blowing up in the hot air balloon crash. And, Hawk ties him for Gordon to arrest. And he comes back to Arkham Asylum, overcame the Joker gas thing, and like fires Dr. Crane because he knows like Crane's been abusing his power and tried to usurp him while he was out of commission. And of course, like Crane's like you'll pay for this, Bruce. I swear to it. And you see him slinking off, and the shadow still showing like the Scarecrow shadow. And of course, you see like the last shot of Batman looking at the Joker, and it's like, this is another long task, and it's like, I will help men like this, even if no matter how long it will take me, and like showing his like, what's the word? Pretty much showing, in no matter in what iteration, Batman's resolve that to like do what's right, even for like criminals like Joker or Croc or Ivy. And I'm pretty sure if like if like this Elseworld thing were like had like a second or sequel to this, I'm pretty sure he'll be taking on the Scarecrow, be like the main villain. But it's nice little short, quick thing. Like I am digging the art. In some spots it didn't work for me. Like the design of Killer Croc, it looks more like the Lizard from Dr. Connors from Marvel, more so than Killer Croc. But it's just this is like it's like certain moments when like people biting their lip is a little off putting. It's like I don't know. It's just like it's certain spots it can be a little bit better, but there's more nitpicky stuff. But beyond that, it's actually a pretty solid story. Nice little short Batman Elseworld story. Set in a different time period. Not too dissimilar to Gotham by Gaslight, but it's like I haven't read Gotham by Gaslight, but I really want to at some point. Even with like the movie, I haven't seen Gotham by Gaslight animated movie, but at some point I will, because I heard great things by both versions. So like at some point I will. But yeah, that is the Batman of Arkham. So let me know what you think. If you haven't read it, definitely give this a shot. You might enjoy it. Like I said, it's very quick and nice little Elseworld story with Batman involved. So yeah, I will see you guys in a little bit. I will be doing because thanks to you all who really want me to do this, and it's like I don't know why I never considered this, doing like a Batman tier list. I will be doing that in a few minutes, so hopefully you'll be there. But check it out later on my YouTube channel, and don't forget to smash that like button, show your support to this channel, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.